welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Ronald Reich. He's joining us live from New Jersey, USA, and he is a passionate leadership management development subject matter expert and coach with 28 years of experience in diversified industries. Welcome to the show, Ron.
AJ, thank you. It's really good to be here.
Same here, same here. Nice to meet you, Ron. And we'll be talking about how the importance of recognition and respect at workplaces. So I'm sure not just in India, where I am right now, but also in a lot of places globally, people will benefit from what you are going to speak, because this is such an important thing. Workplaces, almost like it's a global world, and almost everywhere, a lot of companies are almost the same. So there, it will all apply. So first to understand from you, Ron, you coach a lot of people. You know about this. You are a subject matter expert. You know about an expert. You believe in involving participants in their learning, leading to higher engagement and quality results. So a lot of leaders come to get better understanding about everything. So my first question is: in workplaces, Ron, what is this recognition and respect based on? We know about it, that it's based on performance, but I want to understand from your perspective, what is it based on? And that is the reason, that it is not based on the real thing that it should be based on. And that is why we are talking about recognition and respect at this point in time.
Yeah, it's AJ. It's interesting because one of the activities I like to do, whether I'm working with a group of individuals or even just one-on-one coaching, I like to ask them about something I call the three R's. The three R's: results, reputation, and relationships. And I always ask them, of the three R's for sustained business success, which is the most important R out of the three? And it's always interesting because probably I'm going to say about 85% of the time, the groups and or the individuals come up with relationships are the most important thing. And for me, I agree. If I have to pick one, I'm going to go with relationships. Absolutely. I also believe very strongly, AJ, that all three of those are critical to sustain business success. We've got to have good, strong relationships, which lead to having a good reputation, which will also lead to good results. And if any one of them falter, it's going to fall apart. And part of having good relationships with people is respecting them and learning how to give them the recognition that they need and that they want, so that you can build solid relationships with them.
Right, right. So is this happening? Is this happening at workplaces? Is it about yes men, or is it about the real men who are actually doing the real job? How do you see our workplaces as today?
I, I AJ, I'll tell you, I think one of the biggest problems that exists today, at least it's been my experience, it's been my observation, however you want to phrase this, is that I think so many businesses and so many leaders say to their people, "Oh, be transparent with me, and I'll be transparent with you. Bring the problems to me, and I want to hear your ideas." And so very, very often, that's just not the case. It's like, yeah, I'll listen to your ideas, and guess what? Do it my way anyway. And again, that's almost a lack of respect, a lack of recognition, which damages the relationships, and it just becomes problematic all around. I mean, I was talking to a client just late last week, and they were saying to me is that, yeah, we want to have leadership training for our people. It's a small food company, And they were saying is that, yeah, they don't listen to us. They just don't do what we tell them to do. It's like, oh man. Like, okay. I said, they may need training. Yes, absolutely. Except before we do that, you need training and you need some coaching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The problem is that, when they say that employees don't listen to you, and you have to go for training, they don't realize that, that it is about relationship, as you said, and they haven't built it. So, how do you, when the situation is not the way it is, and leaders are not able to maintain that relationship within workplaces, how can they expect, what is the best way to build relationship in the present scenario, in the backdrop of the great resignation, in the backdrop of questioning, a lot, it's almost saying people, it's a leadership crisis as of today in many organizations, and also, the quiet quitting that is going on. Do you think it is a time where leaders can actually start building relationships? How can they begin? Is there a way, a step to step guide? Is there a way to get started for the leaders?
Yeah. Is it to answer the question, is there a step by step guide? None of which I'm aware. And the reason I say that, AJ, is that relationships with everybody, because we're all so different, need to be built organically. And for me, I always say to people, one of the best ways to build relationships, get to know each other professionally, get to know each other personally. Who are you? What are you? What's important to you? What are your passions? What are your career goals? The better you know people, it is a proven fact. Research bears this out. The better you know people, the more effectively you will work with them. And again, it's just been my experience throughout my entire career. The better I knew people, the more effectively I worked with them.
Right, right. So what is stopping leaders or managers to build that kind of relationship with their team members, or even at a wider level for the top leadership? Why there is so much of gap? And as you said, about the company, that the people complaining that our employees don't listen to us.
Yeah,
The same is, even in this part of the world, several people may have that sort of a thing. Why is it so? You have, CCTV cameras in every corner of your office, where you are tracking every movement. Even on your laptop, you can track the movement of your employees, or what they are doing and what they are not doing. In spite of such, so much of, control over your employees, you still have that complaint. Is it about the problem lies with the employees, or is it about the way relationships are being built by managers and senior managers and top management?
yeah, yeah. I think I think one of the problems is a lot of leaders focus on are so focused on results is that they forget and say, oh, yeah, that's right. Those are people out there. They're not cogs. They're not, a means to an end. They're human beings. And, again, AJ, I'll go back. Another activity that I like to do in my sessions, whether it's in an actual class or whether I'm coaching someone, is just to ask people, what is your role as a leader and as a manager? What's your role? They'll write things down. And it's always fascinating to me because my debrief simply is take a look how much technical information is on your list. And they'll look and they're like, next to none. And I was like, that's right. What does that tell you about your role as a leader? To be human. Because, so often what's on these lists, I need to coach, I need to guide, I need to set the goals of the organization. I need to motivate people, all of these different things. It is not about, I need to be the best finance director out there. And if I don't know finance inside and out, I can, yeah, you have to be a subject matter expert. Of course you do. As you move up through the ranks, it becomes so much more about how well do you deal with people, because that's how things are going to get done.
Right, right. Okay, let me ask it this way. Most of these people in the organization, they have been interviewed by the people within the organization itself, that has been vetted by some agency, and finally it is
Yes,
the internal team that has given the final go ahead at different layers. At a senior level, obviously the CEO and even the board members sometimes, I guess, they get involved if it's a CEO or something else. Now, how can they then go and complain that these are not the right sort of people that we have hired? That these guys don't listen to us? It is a problem then within the whole chain itself. And you are, so where is it that the problem lies? Is it, I won't say that it's the problem with a employee itself, because those guys have been your choice. You still have the choice to change them,
yes.
but you keep on complaining. So I want to understand, where is it that the mismatch has happened? Where is it that the communication has gone bad? Where is it that the relationship has gone bad? And then people are not, obviously people want to work hard, including the CEO. He is also an employee.
Sure, sure.
So how is it, like, because I want to understand from you, Ron, from this stage, is that then how do we start building? What are the things that people can understand that this is what we have not done correctly, and then you go for the solutions?
I think what I'm kind of sensing right now, and what I think we're going to get into for a couple of minutes, for me at least, is about psychological safety, and meaning that when people come on board, they need to be comfortable. They need to feel safe relative to, can I learn? Well, what can I learn here? And am I safe asking questions to people? Am I safe asking questions to my boss? Am I safe talking to my colleagues? Do I and actually, even before that, do I feel included? That's such a critical part of just the onboarding process itself. And as people, if I feel comfortable, if you're my boss, AJ, if I feel comfortable going to you with questions, AJ, I'm not sure about this. I apologize. Can you show me this again? Or, I'm unclear about this. It is so critical that you be understanding, that you be empathetic with me, because it's like, oh, they already showed you that. It's like, thanks a lot, boss. Thanks a lot, AJ. Now I'm not going to be as comfortable coming to you, and I'm certainly not going to be comfortable coming to you and wanting to talk to you about any other issues that I see or any improvements that I think we might be able to make. So again, it's all about those relationships, getting off to a good start from the onboarding perspective, and then maintaining and building those relationships.
Okay, okay. So is it about an employee asking too many questions, or is it about the manager not knowing the answers?
I think it's more on the other side of that. The managers get really busy, and sometimes it can almost be appear to be an annoyance if a direct report or someone comes to them with questions, and that can just damage the relationships.
Okay, okay. So when organizations say that, let's be curious every time, it may not be correct. Curiosity killed the cat long back, and curiosity can obviously kill your job if you ask too many questions.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. You know what I mean? And this is where too. I mean, all of the things that we're talking about blend together, and it all needs to be a package, if you will. So many organizations, have their values posted on the walls or whatever it might be. And so many of them just don't live by these values. It's like the value of, oh, open and honest communication, be transparent, right? Whatever it might be. And it's like, I'm being transparent. I don't understand this. I need your help. I don't have time to help you right now. It's like, okay.
Right. So, what do you suggest? See, organizations come to you; they come for solutions. So, how? What do you suggest? How are you able to tell them? You are the president of RLB Training and Development, and obviously you are an expert. So, what do you tell them so that they are able to understand? Are they able to understand?
AJ, I'll tell you what what's been happening with me, and in fact, I had a very interesting conversation with somebody over the weekend. We had some friends here, and Mandy works in training and development, and she was saying that the leaders in her organization say to her, and it's been my experience with my own clients as well. Oh, my teams need leadership development, or we need management development training, and it's like, yeah, okay. Except it was like what I was saying to you before, AJ. It's not the teams that need the training initially. It's the level above, or even the level above that. Those are the individuals that need the training, and then we can cascade it down. Because otherwise, again, people just don't understand it. And if it's not coming throughout the entire organization, if there's not that consistency, we're going to have a problem. I mean, we're just going to have a problem. And I think that, that's where a lot of organizations fall down, where it's like, oh, they need the training. And it's like, yeah, they do. You're right. I'm just repeating myself here, except we need to start with you. You, the senior leaders, need to start with the training, and you need to make the time and make the investment in that.
Okay, so what is the way out then, Ron? Is the situation going to continue? Is the great resignation going to continue? Is the quiet quitting going to go on? Or is it that some leaders who are actually serious about this will understand it and actually get the type of training that is needed in these times? Or is it that they also understand the problem, are also preparing for the next job if it's not their own company?
I mean, AJ, I mean, there are some organizations out there absolutely that understand this. They understand it, and I've been fortunate enough to work with some of them. The majority of them, though, are just out there. It's like, no, no. It's just, it's my teams that need it. We, the senior leaders, are much too busy in order to, take the time to go through any training. And by the way, we know all this stuff anyway. It's like, if you knew all this stuff, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Right, right. So, what about the internal trainings that happen day in and day out in many organizations? Means, why? What is it that they are not able to do, and then it has to be brought outside? Is it that they don't? I sometimes I'm very surprised by this, that so many educated people are within these many organizations, even the HR people are very educated. They're coming from great business schools, other schools. They are performing, they are selling their products and services to the whole world, but they are not able to see things internally. All those trainings don't seem to be working, or maybe only working at a few places, but a lot of disenchantment from the workplaces can be seen on many platforms. So what is it that not everybody will get a chance to learn from you or get trained from you, Ron? So what is that internal teams can do, HR can do, CHRO can do? All those are great titles, isn't it?
It's AJ again. It's interesting because I was with a different client a couple of weeks ago, and they do internal training, and I think they do a good job of it. I really do. This is one of the organizations that I really respect, and I really like the senior leaders there. And Steve, who was the president of the organization, was telling me after one session, I'm so glad we brought you in as an outside person. Number one, you did a great job. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Equally as important, though, his point to me was the people in our organization need to hear from outside individuals the information that we are already sharing. In other words, they understand the importance of recognition and respect. And that's one of the things I was talking about with them. And he said they need that reinforced. They need to hear it from somebody outside of the organization to know that we, the senior leaders, are not just blowing smoke at them. And he said it's also just nice to have a different voice, to have a different face, and to have somebody in here whose sole purpose in their career is to facilitate these sessions and to help organizations like ours become even better.
Right, right. Is it because you talk also about emotional intelligence, Ron, and also is it about that in the corporate world, most of uh, people they think they have to reach somewhere, and there used to be this word called rat race, and today that rat race or a relay, people don't want or don't have that bandwidth. Sometimes you don't even want others to succeed, or you want just only yours to succeed. It's yourself to succeed. It's like what that you're talking about recognition and respect. Running a relay race, and you want that others should not win, only you should win that relay race. But it is a team game. How can you win a relay race without the team? But you want that recognition only for yourself. How does it work in a situation like this? How do organizations mend this situation when you want to win that that race just for yourself and nobody else?
Yeah, with emotional intelligence, I say to people all the time too, is that one of the biggest things for me relative to that particular topic is getting to know yourself extraordinarily well. And when you know yourself really, really well, it's at that point in time you can start to work more effectively with others. And I think that's also a big problem within organizations where it's like, we need team building, we need to learn how to work together. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Except before you can start working real well together, you've got to learn more about yourself. You need to look very, very deeply. What do you do well? What are your strengths? We all have strengths. What are your limitations? I have my limitations. I know what they are. And I share both my strengths and my limitations with people openly and freely. I mean, I'll do it right now. A couple of my strengths, AJ, I'm a good facilitator. I know what I'm doing, and I'm able to work with groups really effectively. I'm a good resource for people. Over the past 20 years or so, I've probably read over 400 leadership books. And so I can help people with that. I can make book recommendations. I can pull information from these books. And I know that about myself. On the other side of it, what are some of my limitations? I'm not strong technically. I never have been. I never will be. So if you're going to ask me to do something technical, or you want me to, we need some Excel training or whatever it might be. I'm not your guy. I don't write particularly well. It's like, Ron, we'd like you to come in and could you please write a 6-page essay on. You don't want me doing that. And again, my point simply is people need to be aware of these things because when you know yourself better, you'll work more effectively with others. And I think that's a crucial part.
Absolutely. You have pointed out very, very well. Even I am not good at technology. Even I'm not good at Excel. Yes, writing's a bit of writing I do because I've been in journalism for long. But even for 6 pages, sometimes it is very boring until unless it has a meaning to it. But I obviously don't like to write 6 pages. Maybe 800, 600 words are good enough. That is why. But yes, organizations have to understand what people like to do, what people don't like to do. They will do if they are forced to do, and if they will not do, if they can be brought into what they are actually good at, and that is why you have hired for what they know, and you have not hired for them for what they don't know. That's what I guess. But be that as it may, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of organizations can benefit from you, Ron. What is the best way for them to connect with you, to learn more from you, and also to connect with you professionally so that they
Sure.
can get help?
Probably AJ, the best way to do it is indeed through LinkedIn. Just Ron Reich. The name of my company is RLB Training and Development. I'm right there, and yeah, I welcome the opportunity. And what I'm about to say is very, very important to me. I welcome the opportunity to chat with anybody, not to sit there and try to, oh, let me try to sell you and let's work together. No, not at all. I welcome the opportunity to have a conversation with people. Just let's talk a little bit about, hey, what's going on with you? And I will gladly make any recommendations, book recommendations or whatever during that conversation. And if it leads to making a decision that, hey, you know what, yeah, maybe we can work together, wonderful. I mean, and you see what it's about. Let's pull it back to what we were talking about earlier. It's about building those relationships, and that's how you start.
Absolutely, absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.